region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. I'm your host, Joey Clark. We got Sky Mosley in the studio with me.
Rock and roll.
How you doing, Sky?
All right.
And on the phone, we have the captain of the Harriet II, Jim Cottrell. Hey, Jim, how are you this afternoon?
I'm fine. Good. Thank you.
Yeah, good to hear from you. I did not, for folks out there listening, we didn't plan this, so I really appreciate you calling in here. Can you describe from just your perspective what the heck happened this weekend?
Yeah, I can tell you pretty much. We were coming into the dock for our Saturday cruise. It was a 5 to 7 cruise. I had almost 200 people on the boat. And coming into the dock, and I could see that there was a pontoon boat that was too far back to allow me to position the boat to use the disembarkation ramp to get the people off the boat. So I got on the PA. I'm hovering in the water out there right beside the pontoon boat. I got on the PA and said, could y'all please move your boat up a couple feet, 4 feet, so I can get the boat in here to get these folks off the boat. And nothing happened. So I did that about 5 more times. And still, they're just looking at me. So finally I said, okay, now I'm going to call the police to get your boat moved. And when they get down here, they're going to see the alcohol that you have on your boat. I said, I don't think you want that, so move your boat before I call the police. And they started shooting birds at us.
Oh, no. So
I called the police. And we waited there for a while. I called them at 6:59. And so we waited for a little bit, waiting for the police. There was a whole line of security guards up there at the park, just right above the dock. So we waited for a little while, and then the guys left that were on that boat. They left the boat and just left the park, or they left the dock. So I assumed they were gone. So Stewart, who captains the pedal boat, was there, and I knew he could get his boat in and out of that area. So I called him on the phone and said, hey, Stewart, man, can you come over here and get a couple of my deckhands, drop them off on the dock, and let them move that boat for me so I can get my boat in? He said, sure. So he did. And then so my 2 deckhands went over there. One of them was my senior deckhand, my first mate. He was the one that was attacked. They went over there. They know how to move a boat. And in the boating world, boaters are generally, very friendly.
Right.
And in the boating world, it's common. If you have to move somebody's boat, it's not like it's nothing to get upset about. You have to move a boat sometimes. But particularly though, we're a passenger vessel. That boat weighs over 500,000 pounds.
Right.
You don't want to be in its way if you can help it. So anyway, they went over there, moved the boat, and after they moved it, those guys came running back. They must have still been in the park or up in the gazebo or something. And the one, at first there, I thought maybe they were going to have a little discussion. It was going to calm down. Now, see, we're 40 yards or 30 yards away from the dock watching all this. There's nothing we can do. And about that time, another guy comes running up, and then within a minute or so, it was all out brawl. And then I saw some more guys coming. I said, oh, thank God, they're going to break it up. But instead of breaking it up, they jumped on him too. So at one time, it was like six, 7 guys on my deckhand who were just trying to move the boat. So this went on for a minute. Some people came from the plaza and helped pull some guys off of him. He got away for a little bit there. Things started to calm down a little bit, and the police showed up. And I said, okay, it's going to be okay. And my deckhand came back over and motioned me to bring the boat into the dock, that everything was calm. And by this time, I said there was already a half dozen police officers on the dock. This is about 15 minutes later. And so we started bringing the boat in. And as soon as the boat hits the dock, some of my crew who saw my first mate, Damien, being attacked, felt they had to retaliate. which was unfortunate. I wish we could have stopped that from happening. But when you see something like that,
Right.
and it was difficult. It was difficult for me to sit there in the wheelhouse watching him being attacked. And the whole time I'm on the PA, stop, you know, the police are here, stop. But they wasn't even stopping them. So once we get to the dock, and then that's when a little bit of the melee started, and finally the police got control of it. I'm just so thankful nobody had a weapon.
Likewise. Well, and I'd imagine, I appreciate you telling us all that. I'd imagine from just seeing what I saw on the tape that the guys that all y'all who work together, y'all seem pretty tight. Like, this isn't just a day job. Like, these are folks that it's a kind of a work family, right?
Well, they're shipmates. Shipmates is,
right.
You know, different than most jobs where people work together and go home. You know, some of these crew, like we just got back from bringing the boat back from Mobile. We were on there for 7 days. All, you know, spend the night watching movies when we're doing the work, getting the boat up. You know, being a team, and cleaning the boat too, coming up the river.
Well,
so
and
shipmates are like a team, and I want to make one point. I do want to make is
sure.
It wasn't a black and white thing. I had every single white crew member, male, on the boat was on the dock. I mean, it wasn't like this was our crew upset about these idiots,
right.
basically. And this group, this is the same group that comes every year. They're from Selma, and we've had trouble with them in the past, but just like jokey things. Like a couple of years ago, the same group was here. We came back from a cruise, and our golf cart was missing. We use a golf cart to get seniors and handicapped back up to the parking lot. So when it was missing, we finally found it in the Hampton Inn lobby. And we looked at the Hampton Inn video, found out who did it, and we had them come down, and we were going to press charges in, but the police, you know, talked the side of it, saying this may not be so serious to press charges. So we let it slide. And they've done little prank stuff like that. I didn't think it was a big deal. When I saw that all those boats there, I knew exactly who it was. Mm-hmm. They come every year about the same time.
Well, unfortunately, they're getting, well, they probably, from what I saw, the moment where you said it's your like most senior, like first mate, you're saying, who is the gentleman who's attacked initially, and they're ganging up on him. I'm like, okay, y'all just crossed a line there where you kind of got what's coming to you. I hear where you're kind of trying to keep everybody back, like the police are coming. Let's not make this worse than it should be. But I think folks are now doing some internet detective work, and they've already figured out exactly who these people are.
Right. Oh yeah, we know exactly who they are. We're pressing charges. I'm pressing charges, and the white crew member that I had on the dock that was helping. He's just a young guy, you know. He looks big, but he's just a kid still. He's like 16, and their family's pressing charges. So,
well, and
we know exactly who it is, who did it.
And this is after what? There was a huge journey y'all had to do after getting just updates and maintenance done. There was that big 22-day quest back up the river. So, you know, I know, you know, these journeys have been going on now since we've had it back since February. And I don't know. I just don't want this to put a bad taste into anybody's mouth. I've been on the Harriet 2 several times. It's an incredible thing y'all do. It's a great way to have fun and see that part of our city. And I just encourage folks, take out of this to go buy more tickets to the Harriet 2 would be my advice.
Well, that's the thing, man. You know, one of the most amazing, I used to run this boat, the Harriet. I ran it in Savannah, Georgia, 5 years as Savannah River Queen. And in Savannah, you know, we carried mostly tourists, like 99% of it was tourists. Here, it's more local people riding, and we get you'd be amazed. It's I want to call it the love boat sometimes, because people have come on there. We have different races come on there, and by the end of the cruise, you know, they're patting each other on the back, shaking hands, hugging each other, just by having a good time on the boat. And that's what we want to get back to. We just don't want this thing to get out of control as being a black and white thing. That's not the case at all. it was shipmates that were trying to take up for their hurt crew member.
Amen.
And it was brutal. It was brutal to watch.
Sure.
You know, when you can't do anything about it when you're down out there in the water. Because we have one of the crew that swam over there.
Yeah, I saw that.
And he's just a young guy.
Right. Well, I'm like you said, it could have been worse, and it's the way you started the story. You know, don't be a drunk idiot causing a lot of trouble, especially downtown.
That's right.
Like that should be basic rules there.
Well, and all it would have taken, those guys, man, if all they would have had to do is move their boat up a few feet, and none of this would have happened. And this is gonna affect them way worse than it's going to affect us. Because,
right.
I mean, I know one of the guys there one of those guys apparently owns a gas station in Selma, and they've already gotten protests against that. I mean, they're going to be losing part of their livelihood just because they wouldn't move the boat up a few feet. It's just.
Yeah, got to think it through, folks. You could lose a lot of privileges and quality of life in just a few minutes if you're too stupid about it. Shame it even happened, but also it's just surreal. Like, I thought we were done being the center of attention Friday night, and now this is, well, the internet has enshrined this in history, so to speak.
Right.
But the internet always wins in the end. But I appreciate you calling in, Jim. I really do appreciate it. I would not have had this sort of detail if you had not. So thank you for that, sir.
You're welcome.
And folks, get out there and enjoy a Harriet 2 cruise sometime. And I'll have to get out there soon. I've actually thought it'd be a great way to do a news and views, say, listener appreciation get together. Like, let's do a Harriet 2 cruise. So
down with that.
Well, we're talking right now about trying to organize a Harriet 2 Unity March. We want people. The country's going to see. I hate to say it. The country's going to see this as a black and white thing,
right.
And that's not what it is. And so we're trying to kind of organize a Harriet 2 Unity March or something to demonstrate that this town's together. We get along in this town, and we haven't got any kind of issues.
Right.
Just don't come causing trouble.
And try that in a small town. I appreciate it, Jim. I really do, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.